Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you would be fine inside your homes during this period of lockdown. So, today we are going to discuss the fourth week of April. So, quickly let's look at the first question. Which state has launched helpline under Serve the Seniors initiative for senior citizens? I hope you would be knowing the answer, and it's basically J&K. Jammu and Kashmir has recently initiated the Serve the Seniors helpline, and it has been implemented by Jammu and Kashmir State Legal Services Authority as a national nodal agency under NALSA, that stands for National Legal Services Authority, who is chaired by the Chief Justice of India. So basically it is under it, Jammu and Kashmir State Legal Services Authority. It's basically Jammu and Kashmir. Coming back to Jammu and Kashmir, the very basic questions regarding which is what are the capitals, whether Jammu Kashmir has one capital or two capitals, that question number one, and if it has two capitals, then what are those capitals? That's question number two. Presently we do not have any chief minister in Jammu and Kashmir. As of November 2019, the Legislative Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir stands suspended, and the Legislative Council of Jammu and Kashmir has been abolished. Okay, so in this line my question is very clear. What is how many legislative councils are there in India? I repeat the question. How many legislative councils are there in India? That means how many states or UTs have legislative councils in their states or UTs? I tell you one more thing, just to give you a brief background of it. In a bicameral legislature, we have basically two types of houses. Either we have an upper house or a lower house. In the parliament we have the Rajya Sabha as the upper house and the Lok Sabha as the lower house. Similarly, in states and selective UTs we have legislative assemblies. In fact, all the states and some selected UTs have legislative assemblies, and the members are called member of legislative assembly. But there are certain selected states and selected union territories where we have an upper house that is called legislative council, and their members are called member of legislative councils. So my question is quite clear. How many states have legislative councils and how many union territories have legislative councils? So that's question number one. You see the next question. Now, which state has become the first to have the requisite infrastructure in all its courts for hearing cases through VC, that's video conferencing? So nowadays it is very popular. So the answer is Uttar Pradesh. So it has all the infrastructure to start with. The court proceedings are undergoing through the video conferencing modes. So the basic questions regarding Uttar Pradesh: what is the capital of Uttar Pradesh? Then who is the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh? And a unique question that was asked in one of the recent exams: what is the original name? I hope you must be knowing who is the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh. He is Yogi Adityanath. What is the original name of Yogi Adityanath? I leave you with this question. Okay, moving on. You see the next question. Which organization has launched a lockdown learner series of online dialogues with students and educators in India on COVID-19? Question is quite clear. And what's the answer? It's UNODC, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crimes. So that's your homework. Take it as a homework and know basic aspects of it, this organization. Along with that, other homeworks like WHO, UNESCO, UNICEF, evergreen questions. How much amount was approved to Antigua as project outlay by India? So India has recently helped this country So question number 1, Antigua is in which continent? That's your question. It is in which continent? And what is the capital of Antigua? That's question number 2. So regarding this question, what is the answer? It's 4 million US dollars. So that's the answer, you see. Moving on, recently RBI allowed banks to issue electronic cards for which accounts? Right. RBI, as usual, it's a very unique question. Every time some questions from RBI are asked, so I hope you may be knowing basics of RBI. If not, then please know it. So it's basically overdraft account. Now, what is an overdraft account? What is overdraft basically? If we have a savings bank account, then we can withdraw that much only which is saved in our savings bank account. But in overdraft account, a person is allowed to withdraw certain amounts over their basic bank account deposits. Suppose you have 1 lakh rupees in your account, in your overdraft account. So you can withdraw some more money up to a certain limit. Suppose the bank will allow you 1.2 lakh at any point of time, right? So there is a certain limit over which you can withdraw from the bank. So that was the issue. Moving on, you see the next question. Recently central government froze the dearness allowance for its 4.8 million employees and 6.5 pensioners at 17% till which date? So as you may be knowing, what is the meaning of dearness allowance? Actually it is used in synonymously with TA, travel allowance, and DA, dearness allowance. Actually these are facilities provided to public employees to basically encounter or to mitigate the problems or effects of higher inflation or price rise of essential commodities. So regarding the answer, it's July 1, 2021. So that is the answer basically. Till this date, that TA and DA will remain suspended. So moving on, who will head the National Shipping Board? This stands a very unique question. Shipping Board, so National Shipping Board will be headed by which personality? It will be Malini Shankar. This is the right answer. But regarding this National Shipping Board, there are certain questions. Number 1, National Shipping Board as an agency knows some basic details regarding NSB, right? Question number 2, in our country there are many important ports, right? So go to your atlas, you will find a thematic map of India where you will find important ports, right? That means I repeat, all the major ports of India. That's your homework. All the major ports. I name a few, like we have here, we have Kandla. So here we have Mumbai, here we have Kandla, Marmagaon, then we have Kochi here, Tuticorin, Madras, Visakhapatnam, then Paradeep, Kolkata, and so and so. So I have just named a few. You should have to make the entire list of it. Okay, moving on, the next one. Recently, Border Roads Organization has constructed and opened a new permanent bridge on which river to connect a remote Punjab enclave with India. Before moving on to the answer, what is BRO? What is this Border Roads Organization? Whether it is a statutory body, whether it is a constitutional body, have a look at it. Then about this enclave, what is the meaning of an enclave, right? So you should know it. What is the meaning of an enclave? Basically, let me tell you, if as we have islands, an island, suppose for an example Sri Lanka, this Sri Lankan landmass is an island, right? It's an island country. Okay, so this is called an island. That means any big landmass which is surrounded by water from all its sides, any landmass which is surrounded by water from all its sides is called a island. Similarly, it's the reverse of it. That means any landmass, any landmass which is surrounded by a different country or a territory of a different place, right? So suppose this is Bangladesh, landmass of Bangladesh, and it is surrounded by India from all its sides. So this will be called an enclave. Enclave is a landmass which will be surrounded by another country or another administration from all the sides. So that is an enclave. I hope you are clear with it. So what's the answer in this question? It's Ravi River. Ravi. So Ravi is basically a very important river. It's a tributary of the Indus. But regarding this Ravi River, there are certain questions that needs to be answered. Number one, what is the origin of this river? Why I am asking you this question? Recently, a tunnel was in news, right, and a pass was in news. So regarding that, the origin of Ravi River, please have a search. Number two, this Ravi River, on the bank of this Ravi River in 1930 something happened. So that you need to know. Okay, next one, the very famous Ambubachi Mela is celebrated in which state? Looking into the options, Himachal, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Assam. I hope you may be knowing the answer. It's basically Assam, right? In the northeastern part of India, right? We have Assam. Here on the bank of river Brahmaputra, there is a place called Guwahati. Nearer to Guwahati, this place is called Kamakhya Temple. Kamakhya Temple. It is along the bank of Brahmaputra river. So nearer to Kamakhya Temple, in the premises of Kamakhya, this Ambubachi Mela is celebrated. So you should remember it in this way, right? And one more thing, this is one of those other temples where men are not allowed. Men are not allowed inside the temple, right? I give you this as a homework. Search it in Wikipedia, right? Kamakhya Temple and this Ambubachi Mela. You'll get to know some more important facts. Okay, I leave you with one more question. Which river is also known as Red River in India? That's your question, right? See the next one. World Malaria Day is celebrated on 25th of April. The statement is given here, but what is the theme of this year? In recent exams, you can see questions like them. They are directly asking you about the theme. Earlier, the question would be was basically different. They used to ask you about the dates, when this day is celebrated or when that day is celebrated. Now they are directly giving you the information that on this day this is celebrated and what is the theme basically. So according to these options, what is the theme, right? The theme was basically zero malaria starts with me. This was the answer. See the very next question. How many goals have been set by United Nations under its sustainable development goals? Right, before knowing it, a few basic things. United Nations basically initiated two goals from 2000 to 2015. It set the Millennium Development Goals. The Millennium Development Goals, right? The time period was from 2000 to 2015. From 2015 onwards till 2030, it established a new set of goals that was stated under Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, that means every country or every member country would have to adhere to certain standards. Okay, and they will focus on 17 basic goals. To name a few, such as poverty eradication and women empowerment, participation of women in workforce, providing clean drinking water to every household, providing better means of public transport. So these were certain goals, or these are basically certain goals under SDG. So many a times it is seen in news. So I will request you to go to Wikipedia and search about the entire list of SDG. That's your question. Moving on, which agency recently initiated Operation Twist? I hope you must be knowing it. Operation Twist. It means basically simultaneously buying and selling government bonds from the banks. If suppose this is the Reserve Bank of India, this is the bank. That means under Operation Twist, the RBI will basically simultaneously it will sell the bonds and it will buy or purchase the bonds. So under this Operation Twist. So the answer is RBI. RBI has initiated this Operation Twist. But what is the basic objective? Banks basically they invest in long-term securities and they do not pass the benefits of the decreased repo rate to the customers. As Operation Twist will be in effect, now the customers will see their EMIs going down. Now they will have to pay less EMIs on their loans from the bank. So now the benefit of the reduced rates like repo and other rates, they will be passed on to the customers. Earlier the banks used to keep it the entire profit with them. Now as a Operation Twist, they will get the benefit of it. So that's the beauty of Operation Twist. Moving on, Panchayati Raj Divas is observed on which day? Right, Panchayati Raj Divas by the 73rd Amendment Act 1992. Panchayati Raj system or three-tier Panchayati Raj institution came into being. Earlier there was Panchayati Raj system but it was not uniform. But after the 73rd Amendment Act of 1992, three-tier Panchayati Raj system, it came into being. So every year to commemorate the special event, we basically observe Panchayati Raj Divas on 24th of April. That is the answer. But my question is very simple. What are the committees or which committee basically recommended for the formation of three-tier PRI? One more question. What is this three-tier PRI? It's basically having three tiers. At the very basic level, we have the Gram Panchayat, then Panchayat Samiti, and finally we have Zila Parishad. Okay, so these are questions, but I leave you with one question. What is the meaning of Gram Sabha? Don't take this question lightly because it's a very popular question which is repeated time and again. What is the meaning of Gram Sabha and under which article of the constitution Gram Sabha is mentioned? So that's your question. Moving on, what is anthurium? What do you think? What is anthurium? Whether it is a disease, an animal, a plant or a planet. So it's basically a variety of domestic flowering plant which is helpful in purifying the surrounding air and removing toxic elements from the air. So why it was in news recently? NASA has recently placed this plant in the list of air purifiers, and a lady who is named D. Vasini Bai. This lady is the innovator. Now she has developed nearly 10 varieties of this plant recently, so that's why it was in news. Next is a very familiar question to you. Devanahali Pomelo. Now what is this? It was in news recently. What's this? Whether it is a person's name, a book, a fruit or a butterfly. Basically it's a citrus fruit. This pomelo is a citrus fruit. We in Odia we call it batapi. It's it's more larger in size than a normal orange. So it's a citrus fruit which is in news recently. Okay, the Kampegowda International Airport Authority has decided that around the airport itself they will plant this extinct or nearly endangered plant. So for that it was in news. You see the next question, the Veerashaivas or Lingayats, which were in news recently, are native to which state? These Lingayats are basically, they worship Shiva. As the name suggests, they worship the Shiva Linga, but they believe that we are not a part of Hinduism. Okay, so that's why they were in news recently. So Veerashaivas or Lingayats are basically native to Karnataka, right? So that's why it was in news. I'll request you to search some basic details regarding this Lingayat community, which was in news recently. You see, the next one is a very landmark judgment of Supreme Court, in which it propounded the doctrine of basic structure. Right, there are certain pillars of the Constitution on which the entire philosophy of Constitution rests. So the basic structure doctrine was founded by the Supreme Court in the Keshwananda Bharti case. It's a very landmark judgment. So question is very simple: in which year uh, this judgment was delivered? So it was basically in 1973. So that's important. Next is another important one you see, question from geography. Paracel Island was in news recently, right? There is a dispute nearer to the one of the areas in the world. So that's the question. So it was in news. So it's South China Sea. Paracel Island was in news. So South China Sea, there is a dispute which is called 9-line. So this is the 9-line where Paracel Island is located. Here you have Philippines. Here you have Vietnam. Here you have Hong Kong, Taiwan, China. So it's a disputed region. This is South China Sea. So that was the uniqueness of the question. Moving on, which central public sector undertaking has recently invited global expression of interest to procure 10 hydrogen fuel cell based buses? That means any public sector entity will procure 10 hydrogen fuel based buses. So the answer is basically NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation. But what is the meaning of this hydrogen fuel cell technology? Under it, we have a hydrogen cylinder, and there is a semi permeable membrane. So the hydrogen gets combusted by means of drawing oxygen from the air, and as a result of that, in the mechanism is such, the electrons, they start flowing in the circuit, and ultimately there is a motor. So the motor gets rotated by means of these electrons due to electricity, and finally it is attached to wheels. So as a result of that, a vehicle moves. So hydrogen fuel cell based vehicles, they operate under these circumstances. So which agency will procure buses? That's NTPC. So this was in news. For that sake, I request you to go through this issue. What are hydrogen fuel cell based technology? Which country has recently abolished flogging? Now what is this flogging? It's a special question. Flogging basically means, any one of you might have been beaten by the teachers in school days. Flogging means beating somebody by means of a whip or by means of a stick. So if you have committed a crime, then in punishment you will be whipped in front of the public. So that was a common practice in Saudi. Now Saudi has recently abolished flogging. What does that mean? From now onwards, the judges, they will have only two alternatives: either to fine the person in terms of money, or either to send him to the jail. So they will have only two options remaining with them. Earlier flogging was another option with them, but presently it stands abolished. So that was the issue. See the next one, Marie Curie. I hope you would be knowing about this lady. So she won the Nobel Prize in physics in which year? Basically it was 1901, and perhaps she was the first lady to win a Nobel in 1901. Moving on to the next one, Houthis. Houthis are basically rebels. These are militant rebels In which country? Basically they are from Yemen, right? In same line we have the other rebellion groups, such as we have the Kurdish tribe in Turkey. So how these are basically tribes, and these are basically militant outfit in Yemen. Next one, Pitch Black 2020 is a multilateral air combat training exercise. It was hosted by which country? Last year it was hosted in it was hosted last time in the year 2018. So this year it was also planned to be hosted in Australia, but due to COVID-19 lockdown, the exercise has been cancelled. Recently, ozone hole in the North Pole has healed itself. The ozone hole, in this context, in which layer this ozone layer is found? Basically, it is stratosphere. If you go from the surface of Earth, you will find the first layer is the troposphere, and the very next layer is stratosphere. Right, it lies at an altitude to nearly 50 kilometers from the surface of Earth. Probably it is around 50 kilometers above the surface of Earth. And regarding this issue, what is the chemical formula of ozone? That's O3. You may be knowing it. What are the ozone depleting gases? Which gases deplete the ozone? Right, that's very important. And if somebody inhales, if a human being inhales ozone, then what will happen inside his body? So what reaction may take place? So these are some relevant questions. Next one, who has been appointed as the new CVC or Chief Vigilance Commissioner? As a agency, it is very important whether it is a statutory body or whether it is a constitutional body. That's your issue. Okay, so recently Sanjay Kothari was named as the new Chief Vigilance Commissioner, and I give you the background. Central Vigilance Commissioner is held by two Vigilance Commissioners. That means below him or subordinate to him, two Vigilance Commissioners, they function. So that is the issue. Moving on, Chakma and Hazong. This tribe was in news recently. That's very important. These tribes are natives of which state of India? Actually, these are presently presided in Arunachal Pradesh. They are residing in Arunachal Pradesh. But if you see the historical aspect of it, they were natives of Bangladesh. There is a place called Chittagong. If you go to your atlas, you will find it. Chittagong, there are certain hill tracts in Chittagong, and they were natives to that place. When there was a construction of a dam, so during that time, the entire area of these people that got submerged underwater, so they had to travel. They were forced to move to Indian territory right from the Lushai Hills, and now they are inhabiting the place of Arunachal Pradesh. So actually they originated from Chittagong. Due to the construction of a dam, their place was submerged underwater, and through Lushai Hills from Mizoram, they through the route of Assam, they have been placed in Arunachal Pradesh. So that's why it was in news. Why it was in news recently? Because this Chakma and Hazong tribe, they are not a citizen of India. They are non-citizen of India, so they do not have any ration card and all. So as they do not have it, so they have to buy rice and other food grains at market price, which is quite high. So many of them are starving to death. So that's why it was in news. They were pleading to the Prime Minister to do something for them. So that's why it was in news. You see the next one. Recently, CIPRI released trends in the world military expenditure report. According to it, which country is the world's largest military spenders? Without any doubt, the answer is USA. It is the largest military spender. But I will request you to see who are other in this line. Who are other important military spenders of the world. See the next one. CTBT was in news recently. CTBT stands for Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. Right, there are two treaties associated with it. Number one is NPT, Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. That means any country which signs this treaty will not be allowed or will not be able to produce nuclear weapons. This is about production of or non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. And if a country signs CTBT, then he will not be allowed to test it. So this is about production of nuclear weapons. This is about testing of nuclear weapons. Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. That means the country will not be allowed to test the nuclear weapons as such. So it was basically opened for signature. From which year? It's basically 1996. This option is incorrect. It's 1996. It was from 1996 this treaty was opened for signature. See, basically it's both of them are treaties. These are not organizations, these are treaties. Okay, moving on. What is LIGO, which was in news recently? Whether it is a treaty, whether it is a observatory, whether it is an organization, whether it is an app. LIGO stands for Laser Interferometer Gravitational Waves Observatory. Laser Interferometer Gravitational Waves Observatory. It is situated in USA. It is associated with the relativity theory of Einstein. It's EIN. Einstein, right? So basically he propounded a theory called relativity theory. Simply it means whenever two black holes they collide with each other in some part in the universe, they produce gravitational waves. Now these G waves they travel to all parts of the universe wherever from which they have been propagated or they have been produced. So they travel in all directions in order to observe these waves. We have a observatory called LIGO, which is based in USA. So LIGO is basically an observatory. So that's the answer. But what is LIGO India? One of the observatory, it is going to be established in India. So please have a search in which part of India this LIGO 2 or LIGO India will be established. So that's your question. Next is an important personality, Raja Ravi Verma, who was conferred with Kaiser-e-Hind in 1904. He was from which field? He was basically a painter. So he propagated Indian paintings in a western part of the world. He made it popular among rich and the poor. So for that reason he was given the Kaiser-e-Hind award by the British. Recently IMD released a list of how many names of tropical cyclones in Indian Ocean region, whether it is 10, 12, 13 or 15. So what is the answer? It has basically proposed 13 names of these cyclones. Some of them are Gati, Tej, Aag, Neer, Vyom, Jhar and so and so. What is the context? Basically every country in the Indian Ocean region has to propose certain names for upcoming cyclones. It is just to there are certain advantages of it, like regarding preparedness of cyclone. By naming a particular cyclone, mitigating it becomes very easy. Last year in the same time, in the month of May, we had experienced the cyclone called Fani or Foni, however it is named. So it was named by Bangladesh at that time. So India has proposed 13 names. Why it has been in news? Recently 169 names were proposed to the meteorological department, and there is a grid. There is a grid with different countries' names and their proposed names. Like we have India here, then we have Bangladesh, then Oman, Pakistan, all those countries which are nearer to the Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean, and so and so. So that's why it was in news recently. Next is a unique term. What's the meaning of a immunity passport? Immunity passport basically does not mean that a person will be allowed to move out of a country by holding this passport. It does not mean so. It's basically a back to work pass to those who have got cure of COVID-19. It's a strange idea. I don't know how it will be implemented, but World Health Organization has opposed to it. That means anybody who was affected with COVID-19 or corona, after he has been cured out of it, he will be given a back to work permit. That means this person is ascertained that this person will never get affected with corona again. So that was the context, but there is no evidence that the same person won't be affected with corona again. So that's why this is just a proposal. It's not implemented yet. Moving on, what is the rank of India in the USCIRF annual report on religious freedom? So you see, it's basically, I have wrongfully picked up this question. It's an incorrect question. You can cross it back. This is wrongly, it has been posted. So next you see, Petersburg Climate Dialogue 2020 was hosted by which country? Right. So you see, what's the answer? It's basically Germany. This country has been hosting this event right from 2010, and it is a brainchild of the German Chancellor Angela Merkel. She is the proposer of this initiative, Petersburg Climate Dialogue, which has been observed since 2010. Next, what is the rank of India in the Global Terrorism Index? It's basically 7th. Kawasaki disease, which was in news recently, affects people of which age group? The answer is very clear. It's children below the age of 5 who are very weak in their immunity. So they are the worst affected of this disease. Next is an issue related to the Atlas. Mekong River. Mekong River, which is in news recently, flows through how many countries? I hope you may be knowing it. Anybody who is not having an idea about Mekong River, please go to the Atlas and see in the page of Asia. You will find it. There are 6 countries which are enjoying or receiving the waters of Mekong River. Apart from this, there was a Mekong Ganga project. There was a Mekong Ganga project which was in news a couple of years before. So I have an idea about this Mekong River, which all countries are neighboring to it, and one more thing, Mekong Ganga project. So you see the next one, annual special 301 report has been released by which country recently? It's USA again. So this country has released annual special 301 report. This report basically focuses on trade barriers and trade barriers related to violation of intellectual property rights. That means any manufactured goods which are exported from USA to different parts of the world, suppose for an example India, their goods, the trademark or their patent, whether they are protected in the country or not, that's the question. So regarding this issue, what are intellectual property rights? What is the meaning of WIPO? These are related questions, so have a idea about that. The answer is US. How many members are how many members are there in APEC? How many countries are members of APEC? It's basically 21. Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. Regarding this agency, in which year it was formed, where is the headquarter, how many members are there, who is the present head of APEC? So these are related questions that you need to know. Moving on, who is the new permanent representative from India to UN? It is T.S. Thirumurthy. So that's the answer. Finally, the last question. H-Card is a robot to help COVID-19 healthcare warriors developed by CSIR of which lab? Right. So regarding this, number one, what is this H-Card is actually a robot that will help the healthcare workers like doctors and nurses to supply medicines and food to the patients without getting contaminated by them. This will reduce the chances of contamination. It's basically a robot which will carry food and medicine to the patients, so doctors won't have to go to that place. Number two, the CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. CSIR, this lab, so it has labs in different parts of India. Now this H card has been developed by which CSIR? It's Durgapur. So with this, I conclude this entire session. I hope you would. I'm winding up this session, so I hope you will be benefited from it. Thanks a lot.